preparation for tomorrow is doing your best today. H. Jackson Brown Jr. Welcome to the Guyana Dialogue. I'm your host, Shamiza Ali, and it is truly a pleasure to be here with you this evening. Our topic tonight will be the state of the sugar industry in Guyana and the challenges facing GUYSUCO. The Guyana Dialogue is being sponsored by a coordinating council of Guyanese based in the US, UK, Canada, Caribbean, and Guyana. Funding support is by well known philanthropist Dave Narine from Dave West Indian Imports. Please welcome my moderator for tonight, Dr. Tara Singh, who is a distinguished political and social scientist. Our panelist tonight is Dr. Muniram Budu, who is a professor and civil and architectural engineer in engineering mechanics.
Hello.
Our guest tonight is the executive officer of GUYSUCO, Mr. Paul Cheong.
Thank you. Good
Welcome,
evening.
everyone. Good evening. Dr. Tara, please go ahead. Dr. Tara, we can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Perfectly well, yes.
Huh?
Thank you. Yes, we can hear
Okay.
you.
Mr. Paul, I apologize for that. Mr. Paul Chung, I want to congratulate you on behalf of the Guyana Dialogue on your recent appointment as Chief Executive Officer of GUYSUCO. That is probably one of the most difficult jobs in the entire country. You succeeded Mr. Sesnaran Singh, who has been posted to European Union as the ambassador there. Um, I know that you come from a family, a farming community. Your grandfather was a great farmer himself. I recall he used to supply the entire village with milk. Apart from livestock, he used to plant rice. He was big in the agriculture business, and I'm sure that you have a strong footing as well in the agriculture business. I believe you still do agriculture in the Canals Pole area.
Yeah.
So, okay, so we welcome you, and with your practical experience in agriculture and coming from one of the most vibrant agricultural families in Guyana, I'm sure you will do well. Although Gaisuko has many problems, I'm sure you do well to smooth them over. Um, my first question, because it was in the press, people are saying because of the rain, you may not be able to meet your 2024 target. What do you have to say about that, and how are you shaping up?
Well, good evening, and thank you for having me on the program. I mean, it's a pleasure to be here. Um, at the beginning of the year, our target was 100,000 tons. And because of, first, not the, we had the El Nino phenomenon in the country, stunted the growth of the sugar cane. We've reduced that to 70,000 tons, and we're confident that we can achieve that 70,000 tons of sugar for this year. Last year, we produced just over 60,000 tons. So, we expect to, add another 10,000 on what we did last year.
So it's very important to meet your market commitments, both local and overseas. How are you shaping up with that?
Yeah, yes. Yesterday we born at Albion, Rose Hall, and Blairmont. Those factories will start riding by Saturday morning early. With those factories coming on stream, we will have sugar for the local market and we start exporting also.
Hmm. And how are you going with the packaging of sugar?
Well, our plan is to grow that. We need to, focus on adding more value to the products we have, and one of that is the packaging of sugar. We've added a thick line which we can do for the airline and also hotels, restaurants, and so on. So even some households are using those. So yes, we're moving ahead to increase the packaged sugar that we sell and market.
How many packaging plants you have right now operating?
We intend to package most of the sugar from Blairmont. We're putting in a new packaging line at Albion, but we have some lines there already which are operating with about 4 packaging machine at Albion, which is running, and we produce the Albion gem there, and we sell some of that to the U.S. market also.
Um, can you say briefly for the public knowledge how many acres of cane are under cultivation right now,
Uh,
roughly?
Hectares, I mean, about
Yeah,
19,000 hectares.
and how many acres are not under cultivation right now?
We were probably about 3,000 hectares.
Mm.
Yes.
All right. Let me put you over to Professor Boudou for some
Yeah,
clarification and questions. Professor Boudou?
yeah. You said you're producing about 100 metric tons, right? 100,000 metric tons, right? Is this your target, or is
No,
normal target, or you produce less?
yeah, that was our original target at the beginning of the year, but because we had to make adjustment because of the bad weather conditions we had, which hindered the growth of the sugarcane, the long dry spell, which lasted till around the end of May. So we've adjusted that to 70,000, but next year our plan is to surpass the 100,000 tons.
Yeah, because you said about 19 to 20,000 hectares, right? Your arable land at the moment. So your production there is what about 3.5 we get centi, right? Uh,
Yes,
ton per hectare, right? Now,
yes.
how do you compare that with say Brazil and say India?
Well, I mean, our yield are low currently, right?
Mhm.
But our plan, I mean, one of the most important thing for us is to improve the productivity in the field. I mean, as we all know, sugar is grown in the field, and we're focusing heavily on improving our yields in the field. We want to move it from where we are between 40 and 50 tons per hectare, and we want to take it close to 80 tons per hectare or average. Um, you know, I mean, and to how we do that, I mean, we can't just say we're gonna move there. We have to, when we plant the cane, it has to be planted properly. We have supply. If any cane die out, we have to plant back those areas. We call it the process of doing that supplying. And we have to fertilize on time. Our weed management has to be on cue, so once we do that, and give the plant the right nutrition and we can achieve close to 80 tons per hectare. I mean, when I planted cane, I used to get 110 tons per hectare. So we know that can be done with good farm management, and we're working strongly to in that direction. We also, have to embrace technology. We're looking at, the minister is going to Parliament tomorrow to, get some more funding for us. And one of the things that we have there is 5 drones that we can use to help with the control of weed. We're also buying some that can help us to check the health of the plant, also to map different type of weeds. Some weed use expensive chemicals or herbicide to control. And, if we can do more precision agriculture, we'll be able to cut our costs in terms of weed management and also increase our yield. So,
Now, okay, how many cane cutters do you employ?
how many
Cane
employees?
cutters.
Cane cutters, we have on roll just under 5,000.
Mhm. Do you have any mechanization in the sugar
Yes,
industry?
well, I mean that's one of the reason why only yesterday we started crop because we this crop we doing uh, uh, both mechanized and manual harvesting, semi mechanical also. So those machines you have to get good weather condition to operate this. Yes, this year crop we've been um, doing a lot of mechanical harvesting.
Yeah, but do you expect to go fully on mechanical harvesting or and planting also? Are you doing planting with the mechanization also because technology allow you to do that?
Yes, yeah, that's the direction we have to move to reduce our costs. We are able to do a lot more faster when you mechanize, and I mean the timeliness of your everything is important. I mean the plant has a limited time lifespan from time you plant it to harvest it, and the more we can, the faster we can give it the nutrition and manage the weed because weed. If weed infest the field, I mean, it can cut your yield by close to 50%, right? So these are all things we working on to get done.
Where is the current market and what price you sell sugar?
We have different markets now. We have the whole market is a big market for us. The CARICOM market also because we enjoy the benefit of this CT. The CARICOM market is also big, and we have some um, preferential target or quota in the US, which we
Yeah,
sell.
but is your price? How is your price compared with say Brazilian?
I mean, yes, we get close to 750,
Mhm.
per tons.
And that's similar to what Brazil is getting.
Well, I mean, no, Brazil, yeah, because of the CARICOM, we were able to get better prices than what Brazil is selling for. Brazil selling on the world market, the price would be lower.
Yeah, yeah. I think the last one I saw was about $720 per metric ton
Yeah.
for sugar. Okay. Now, what you're now recently on this job, right? Uh,
Hmm.
what are your plans to make the sugar industry profitable?
Well, as I said, I mean, the field is important, right? And I outlined some of the things that we have to do in the field. We have to move from where we are to 80 tons. We also, I mean, growing the cane is one. We have the harvesting. It's important. We have to ensure we harvest the cane properly, right? Properly meaning that you cut. I mean, when you cut the cane, you don't leave a big part in the field, and then you cut off with the top properly. We have to get the cane from the field to the factory timely because from the time you burn the cane or you cut it, it starts to deteriorate. So the faster we get the cane, the better for our recoveries. Right now, I mean, for last crop, our recoveries was about 14 tons per cane you take to make a ton of sugar. We want to move that to single digits. To do that, I mean, yes, the quality of cane has to improve, and we do that through nutrition and the management practices I spoke about earlier, and also the logistics. I mean, getting the cane to the factory timely. I mean, we've been, sometimes we grind cane, sometimes 3-4 days after, and that's not good. So, and also the factories stop starting, and what would help to eliminate the stop start is the implementation of the mechanical harvesting. When you stop start, you run out of bagasse. When you run out of bagasse, you have to use fuel, I mean, either diesel or wood, which is a big cost. And so if we can run continuously, that would also not only improve our recoveries, but it will also reduce our costs of running the factories. And I mean, we have to move in that direction. And also, as I said earlier, we need to get the best price possible for what we make. I mean, everything that we do, we need to look and to see how we can do it more efficiently.
Now, what are your major challenges? You mentioned a few of them just now, but there must be some that is really hard to crack. You know?
Well, I mean, the challenges that we have. I mean, I'm thankful that we have a government who is very supportive of the industry. I mean, without the help of the government, we would have been in a bad state. And I must go back to say, GUYSUCO has a long and a rich history in this country. Sugar, I mean, we can never, underestimate or talk too much about the contribution of sugar to our whole country and the people of this country. Many of us came here because of sugar one way or the other. Sugar carried Guyanans back for many years. Through the foreign currency that we earn from sugar. Yes, since the special arrangement, the market in Europe and ACP closed, we went through a rough time. And now, I mean, we need to reposition ourselves and, try to work on reducing our costs and being more efficient. And that's what we're working to do. Challenges also is the weather. We live in a time where we talk about climate change, and we're experiencing that climate change. So the weather is thing. And so what we have to do, maximize the use of the window that we have. So that's why I'm saying when we get a dry spell, we have to work the factories continuously. So that we won't drag on into the bad wet period, and which would affect the fields, because when you try to harvest cane in wet condition, you damage the ratoon. When you damage the ratoon, it affects future yields, right? So we have to be conscious, and we have to work within the conditions that we have and adapt to them.
Now, you mentioned you want to reduce costs. How much is costing you now to produce, say, a metric ton of sugar?
Well, per pound, I deal with a pound. It's in the 60 cents. No?
So what's your plan to do?
So right away, I mean, if we can, we can bring that down with some effort in a year and a half, 2 years, we can halve that. Once we can.
How are you going to do that?
As I said, I mean, right now we get in 40 tons, 50 tons per hectare. You use 14 ton of cane to make a ton of sugar. That's a 3 ton sugar per hectare. If we get 80 ton cane and we reduce it to single digits, we will get 8 ton sugar per hectare. Right away, I mean, it's a big difference. Right, in your output. So we also, I mean, I talk about reducing, working the factory continuously and reducing the cost of running the factories. That will also add to our cost reduction.
Now, is your infrastructure in good shape?
It fairly, but I mean, as I said, I mean, our roads are not all-weather roads. So, I mean, that's why we need to, use the dry weather well. So, most of them are clay, and water and clay is not friends.
Now, do you still use ponds?
Huh?
Do you still use ponds?
Yeah, we still use ponds.
So
you have tractors have to go to pull the pond on the road down, right? And then you have vehicles have to take the workers into the field to harvest and do other work. So you still need, I mean, even though the pond is in the trench, you still need the road or the dams them in good order.
And are there plans to improve that also?
Well, I mean, it's continuous. I mean, we think, I mean, the government has been helping us, but we try to utilize the money in the best possible way. So we have to also make choices. I mean, we still need to do some, do some work on the fields to get all the fields converted to mechanized, that can handle mechanized operation. Because, right, we also have to do some work on the factories.
Mhm.
so that we can process the cane timely. We don't want downtime during the um, best period we have to grind cane.
Mhm.
All
Now,
right. Dr. Boo, your last question. Let me move on.
okay.
Go
No,
ahead.
there's several byproducts in sugar production, bagasse, molasses, and so on. Now, these are valuable resources. For example, when I was a faculty at UG, my research showed that bagasse can be used as water filter for water filtration.
Yeah,
Brazil produces bioenergy and bioplastic from these byproducts. I know there's construction bricks
correct.
being made from the sugar industry.
Mhm.
Do you plan to consider utilizing these
Right.
byproducts?
I mean, we've set up. We have a team which is exploring all of these things right now. We got to do the feasibility. Yes, even biomass. I mean, traditionally, and right now we still burn the cane, but if we do mechanized harvesting, we don't need to burn the cane. We got a lot of biomass there that we can also use, and we'll go more environmental friendly. So I mean, all of these are things that we're exploring and see how we can change and reposition GUYSUCO to be a better citizen of the world and of Guyana.
Mhm. All right. I'll come back to you, Dr. Buduja. So, just you talk about expanding productivity. Did you include increasing the sucrose content of cane by getting higher yielding varieties, like from places like India and even Honduras, Guatemala, I mean?
Yeah, I mean, we actively pursuing better quality from external sources, yes. And I mean, even, I mean, NARI is setting up a tissue culture laboratory, and we working with them also to see how we can improve those that we have here, um, and also from stock that we will bring from overseas. I mean, the process of developing new varieties is a timely one because we have to check and so on. But we have some good varieties here too. But the importance for the plant is the nutrition, right? We have to ensure, and we have to check not just for the three main um, nutrition thing, that the nitrogen, potash, and phosphorus, but we also got to look at micronutrients that the plant require, and that can help it to produce more sugar inside the plant, or more sucrose, increase or improve the sucrose content.
And I guess that when the gas assure project come to reality, I know a company is already building a fertilizer plant that
Yeah,
will reduce input,
right. Input costs, right.
yeah, for the agriculture. Um, Coming back, Dr. Budu mentioned about, you asked about the challenges and you mentioned about the role of sugar in the economic life of the nation. I mean, the history of Guyana is essentially a history of sugar. Um, but what is often lost, I made this point when the GAU secretary was on our program about two weeks ago, that when the sugar levy was imposed in 1964 period, and it was ended in, I think was 2000, over $120 billion in tax levy was collected, and that money was never put back to modernize or
Yeah.
to modernize the industry or even to update farming methods, etc.
Hmm.
And people seem to forget about that. And up to today, the vice president was saying in his press conference that people always look at sugar. Sugar is a beating stock, they mention why you got to give so much subsidy to sugar, and they forget to mention that bauxite get about 4 billion annually in subsidy. And when you work out per capita worker, bauxite sugar is much higher than sugar per capita. As a matter of fact, the vice president said that sugar is being subsidized about 5 billions per year, and bauxite is about 4 billion. But
Yeah.
sugar is the biggest employer of persons in Guyana. So their per capita per worker, they subsidy much less for sugar than bauxite. But people don't see that. Even during the week, Aubrey Norton, the leader of the opposition, says that if they win power, they will further downsize the sugar industry. How would you react to that?
I mean, the sugar industry again, as you rightly said, play a huge role in not only, I mean, to the workers, but in communities, right? Communities, the spin-off from the sugar industry is huge because it's I mean, a cash industry. A lot of, when I say cash, people earn, I mean, based on their job and so on. And um, so all the shops, all the fisher folks, the people who plant vegetables and so on, all of those people, they get more sales during the crop time,
Mm.
right? Many villages, I mean, suffer. I know Wales, and you're right, Wales was a ghost town when the estate was closed. It's now that the government has invested in that area, it get back some life. I mean, Rosal, I mean, was a ghost town. I mean, people had to be helping those people with hampers and so on because the thing. So, um, people must have dignity. I mean, you must be able to give them employment. They must work and provide for their family. We need to, understand. We have over 8,000 persons working in the sugar industry and over 5,000 pensioners, right? That receive pension from the sugar industry and by extension their family and I said other people. So, well, it's good. I said earlier, it's good that this government has recognized the importance of sugar, right, to the backbone of the economy. That's why the economy, has been doing so well too, right?
Yeah.
The whole economic policy is different.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. When Wales was closed down, it became an economic dead zone, and people were really suffering there. And not forget that over 40% of the cane supply to the Wales factory was for peasant cane farmers.
Correct.
And you know, people like Pradeep who
Uh,
employed a lot of cane farmers.
I used to supply wheels with cane,
Yeah, you too. Yeah. And so, but tell me a little about Rose Hall since it was brought back online into production. How is that going?
Yeah, well, the factory, I mean, it's working well. It's working. I mean, and we continue to work to develop it. It's not overnight. It's not magic one. You can
Yeah.
you can I mean get everything back and fix GUYSUCO overnight. It takes time. And Rosal has been doing extremely well in the short time. Last crop we had I mean, unfortunately we had a problem with Albion. I mean, the powerhouse had a big fire, but we were able to grind the cane from Albion at Rosal. It took a little bit of effort, but we did it. And so, I mean, Rosal was able to assist the industry to achieve the amount of sugar that we produce. So it's in good order.
How many workers you rehired at
Yeah,
Rosal?
over 1,200.
Over 1,200.
Yeah.
All right. What about the state of Skeldon? What you plan to do with Skeldon and
Well,
Enmore?
as His Excellency mentioned, we will be looking to start replanting cane there, but not only plant cane. We examine the factories then, the factory, to see how best, what best we can do there. Remember, Skeldon, I mean, over 5,000 hectares have been converted already. Conversion of the land is the most expensive part in the land preparation. So we have ready-made land there that we can go and plant. But we're not just only planting them, we're looking to see what we can do to make back sugar at Skeldon. Unfortunately, the factory, left down for such a long time. A lot of the parts corroded and so on. So we hope to we're working to get some Indian consultants here who will help us in that regard.
And is there a plan to give out some of the land for industrial hemp cultivation at Skeldon?
Yes, other areas around Skeldon. Skeldon is a large area. Yeah.
All right. And what about your plans for Enmore?
Well, I mean, and more we continue to utilize the workers them there that we have to do other stuff now in the industry and so on, and where we can help. But our focus can be on Skeldon and more. I mean, there I think the government has started to do industrialization.
So in Enmore there will be no further cane cultivation.
No, not at this time.
Is it correct to say that part of the cane lands will be allocated for housing?
Yeah, housing
at
and
Enmore?
and industrial development. And industrial development.
Okay. All right, Professor Budu, back to you again.
Well, crop rotation is one of the agriculture best practices. It has several benefits, which I'm sure you know, right? Do Guyana practice crop rotation?
I mean, yeah, intercropping, so we don't practice that in GUYSUCO. But I mean, it's something some farmers do and so on, and you plant because legumes and so on. Because we focus because of the infrastructure and so on there that we have. We think we can probably look at intercropping down the road, but these are things further down. We want to look to see how we can get better at what we do currently.
Yeah. You're focused really on the production challenges and how you, as the CEO, is going to try and improve on this and make the sugar industry more efficient. And it requires, especially in Guyana, government support, and you touch on some of this because the previous government wanted to kill that industry. And so now you guys are trying to resurrect it. Is there any long-term plan to make this sector, right, independent of government support?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's where we're working towards. I mean, we believe, I mean, it can stand on its feet once we get it efficient. And we also got, do more in terms of more value added, as you spoke about some of the things earlier, look to see what we can do with some of the byproducts that we make to add more value to our income stream. I mean, increase our income stream. So it's a more holistic thing, and also key to us. I mean, improving to is our employees. They're the most important part of this organization, and one of the things we're working on is to ensure that we have highly motivated and skilled. I mean, we train people and think them, and people must feel free to speak, to interact, and we empower people, and allow them to do their work, but we hold them accountable also. We have to, have a culture of empowering people and holding them accountable. Allowing them to express themselves in their jobs, because that's where you want to get the best out of each and every person, but also have the right checks and balances and trigger point that would lead to better performance.
Now, your market, are you happy with the market growth? It seems to be concentrated on the Caribbean and perhaps EU, and you sell to the United States
Yeah, the
and
US. Yeah, we have a preferential quota from the US.
yes. So is there any move to extend this market if you're going to increase your production?
Well, yes, well, and we also, right, this is in the exploratory stage, so you got to look at more value added and products, what different products we can do. And we're still looking and to see how we can. I mean, I know there's a big Indian diaspora in the North America, and they use different sugar, too. So all of those are things we look at, and to see what we can do, and to capture some of those markets.
Yeah, because I think branding is important. If you look at Demerara sugar, it looks like it comes from Fiji.
Yeah, yeah.
Huh?
Well, yeah. You got, but we will try to. We working to see if we get the geographic location, thing, so that we can link our product to Demerara, to the real Demerara.
Yes, and I think that is important because you have something to sell.
Yeah,
This branding is key.
yeah,
key.
and
Now, we talk about some of the challenges there: production, government support, the export market, the aging infrastructure that you have. Is corruption a problem?
well, um, we, as I said, we have a culture, and we developing and strengthening to holding people accountable, right? So I don't. I mean, it's not something we tolerate, and it's something we always got to look at ways in which we improve what we do, and that's what we're doing, and I'll review the system for weaknesses and try to put system in place that would eliminate those.
Mhm. Now, you get enough labor for your sugar industry, or you have shortages?
Well, it's I mean, as we all know, Guyana. I mean, because the rapid pace in which the economy is expanding, yes, it's pulling portions from all parts of the country. So sugar is not immune to that, and but that's why we working to mechanize more, and so we can get more output from a single person by giving them the tools necessary to perform.
Now, what's your outlook here? The new CEO, what is your vision here? Say maybe say next 5 years. What is it you want to achieve? Say 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, I said this. I mean, if I didn't believe sugar had a chance, and I mean, I wouldn't have been here, right? I strongly believe that we can make this GUYSUCO back, bring it back on its feet, so to speak. We can and standing on its own, and make it into an institution that all Guyanese will be proud of again. It's not easy, but every single person in the organization has to be on board. We all got to work together, and we have some very hard-working people in GUYSUCO, right? We all have to work together and put GUYSUCO first, right? Once we do that, and we do our job properly, yes, definitely, we can, turn around the organization.
Yeah. Okay, the last question I have before I hand you over to Tara is, what are some of your financial constraints?
Well, I mean, there is finances because of the low yield we've been having. We're not producing, we're not having enough product to sell to cover our expenditure. So, once we can increase that and improve on our efficiency, and so yes, we can start managing that. As I said, we work closely with the government in terms to assist us with the important funding that we require, and they've been helping tremendously.
Sarah?
All right. Let's go back into peasant cane farming. Is that reviving too, or it's withering?
Well, I mean, you have more people, showing interest. I know, Minister, you plan to come in the canal soon to talk back to some of the farmers. I've been doing that. Some of them, they've moved because when Wales was closed, they moved from cane to pineapples to other crops. So it's once, I mean, we can, and this is our plan, improve the factory. The farmers are paid based on tons, the sugar. So when the TCTS is high, I mean, they don't make as much money as when the TCTS is low. So we want to able to work to bring down the TCTS by getting the factories them running properly, and by improving the quality of cane, and also the get the cane to the factory as quickly as is possible. And one of our goals is to I mean, we're working on, it's still work in progress, that we must grind 80% of the cane within 24 hours, right?
So right now,
Once people, the farmers are making money, they'll be on board. And once we do what I've outlined here earlier, and they have the confidence,
so
yes, I'm sure that they'll get back on their
do you have
farm.
an estimate of how many cane farmers you have now? An estimate?
I probably about 50.
Oh,
Yeah.
not much,
No,
not
no.
much.
Well, we had a lot more because when wheels were shut, a lot of them, went on. So
Okay.
yeah.
Let's talk about your byproduct molasses. Do you produce enough molasses to make rum and these things, or
We, we,
they have to import molasses?
so I mean, yeah, I don't think I don't have the information of DDL being important, but yeah, we have molasses and stuff, you know.
Yeah. What about your relationship? You want to make all these changes, mechanization, difficulty in getting labor. What about your relationship with the main union, GAU?
Well, well, I mean, the GAU is a stakeholder. I look at them not as a union, as a stakeholder. I met with them the first week, or not long after, and we have a good working relationship. We went, myself and them, we went in and visited the fields together. So for them to see what we're doing, and we had some good exchange. I mean, and sharing of ideas and so on. And we have a good working relationship, and we want
Yeah.
to maintain that. I believe. I mean, relationships are important, and so we have to always good communication is important
Do,
in
do
to build any relationship.
do you communicate with them regularly or just occasionally?
Yeah, I mean, we have regular meetings. So, I mean, it's job related. I mean, it's thing. I mean, they have to be independent too, because they have a different role
Yeah,
from what
yeah, yeah, yeah.
objective. So, but we respect each other, and yes, and we communicate.
Is there another union in the sugar industry?
Yeah, Nasi, and I think
Not
GLU.
see.
Yeah.
And how you get along with them?
Yes, I mean, all of them. It's the same thing.
So the industrial relation climate in the sugar industry is fairly stable, you'll see.
Yes, yeah, I would say so. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Coming back, the vice president said today that sugar, when you think about sugar, you also got to think about the drainage and other infrastructure that they provide to adjacent villages. And if the sugar doesn't operate, they got to get taxpayers' money to do
Yeah.
those things. And he mentioned billions of dollars they have to get to
Right.
provide that. So when you look at the sugar industry in terms of the 5 to 6 billion annual subsidy. It may look plenty, but actually it's money being spent. It's like an investment. And they said every dollar you spend, you generate $10 in economic activity. And that's what happening with all the support industries. People can get loan now, get their own house. You got a local shop, the people who sell greens, etc. So so I don't understand why people are beating up on the sugar industry so much. And the sugar has produced so much for Guyana. Not I'm not talking about even material wealth, but also human resource. And many of us get our higher education because of the sugar. Our root was in the sugar industry. So um, so yeah, I know you're trying your best, and I'm fairly confident you will succeed, and because you are grounded in that industry in farming, and that is very important. Now, going back to cost reduction, you mentioned everything. When the last CEO was there, he was complaining when he was writing before he got the job that the hierarchy, the bureaucracy of the GUYSUCO was too heavy with a lot of benefits that were conditioned to meet the expatriates still exist, and he would have done something about it. But when he got in there, I don't think he did anything. What are your thoughts on that, and what are your plans, if any?
No, but I mean, these people would have been working there for years. They have a contract. And as we all know, I mean, you can't, a contract is between two organization, two people, an organization, and force. You can't change a contract. I mean, they got laws for
Yeah.
those. You can't just, do it just like that.
What
Uh,
about what
it,
about
it, it would be
sorry,
illegal.
go ahead.
It would be
Yeah.
illegal. It would be illegal to do that. Professor, you would agree with me. You can't just go
Mm.
and do
No, I understand that, but what about thinking about consolidating positions
yeah, well, right. Well,
as a cost
yes.
cutting measure?
Well, we do. I mean, we doing that, and we have a human resource subcommittee that that's their focus to look to see how we can merge things, and I mean, we have a lot of things. We have in the pipeline that we will explore, but we got to ensure that people, we don't just want to put people on the street. It has to be something. Either
Mm.
that people retire, we don't re-employ people for that position, or
Right, right.
so we have to be. I mean, think, yes, we're conscious of this.
Yeah. Right now, you were supposed to get some technical assistance from Guatemala and somewhere else.
For
How
India,
is that from
India.
India? How is that working out?
Yes, I mean, we fine tuning that. I mean, we fine tuning those arrangements, and pretty soon we hope to have them, as I said.
So apart from that, you don't have any other consultant working with GUYSUCO right now.
We have some Cubans here who are assisting in various areas.
How long they'll be there?
I think my probably about 2 months or so. I think maybe about
Mm.
2 months.
All right. All right. Professor Budi, your last final statement because we need to get 10 minutes of question and answer from viewers.
Yeah. Well, Paul, you and I had dialogue on how to keep sugar production costs low and some of the things you're going to do to make the sugar industry profitable. And we talk about mechanization, technology, some agricultural practices, energy optimization, some government policies and subsidies, and value-added products. I think those are the key ones to make this industry profitable. And I wish you well in what you do as a CEO to make this happen.
Thank you.
All
But
right. Okay, go ahead, Paul. Sorry.
yeah, but I was saying it has to be a total team effort, a total organization wide. I mean, I don't want I mean, I don't have a magic wand. No one person can do this. It has to be the total team, and I'm happy to be part of that team.
Mhm. Okay, thank you, Paul. Shamiza, you have any questions from viewers?
Yes, we have quite a few questions
Okay,
from
go ahead.
viewers. So we'll start off. This question is from Taj Dinarine. Paul, will you be upgrading the factory to accommodate green harvesting?
Yeah, yes. I mean, as I said earlier, I mean, um, traditionally we born cane. I said greenhouse. I mean, cutting. I assume that it's cutting the cane without burning it, and there are harvesters that can do that now, and it's a way to go. We can harvest the biomass, which can add value to our income stream, add income to, and also that can be used as mulch to help keep down the grass also. So that is a positive, I mean, way to look, to move into. And yes.
Thank you. This question is from Mahendra Hariraj. He says, what have been the key accomplishments and shortcomings since the last CEO took charge? It was widely recognized that the executive leadership exhibited a rather unconventional management style.
I mean, yeah, well, it's work in progress. I mean, we work into, um, you know, to move the sugar industry into one that would rely less and less on government subsidies, and to move the whole industry into a more efficient way of operating.
Thank you. This one is from Tajuddin Ryan. Paul, the factory at iFlood is old. Are there any plans to upgrade to make it more efficient? If so, what is the timeline?
Yeah, well, I mean, yes, we've just, yes, there are different components at the factory. We just, I mean, went through a phase where we visited and analyzed all the thing. I know we need some more equipment. We need some, but the boilers are the biggest problem there. We have some issue with turbine we have a new turbine there to put install, and we working to acquire a new boiler. That's going to be sometime next year, hopefully, once the funding is available. But we've invested in refurbishing those to make them work more efficiently. So we expect IFOD to be improved continuously. I mean, and to get better. I know they went through a hard time a few years ago, but we don't want that to return.
Wow, thank you. This question is from Siwa Chandenarain, and he said, why Gaisuku don't use its Facebook page to enlighten the general public, taxpayers, and what is the budgeted sugar production for the second crop of 2024 for all the estates?
All right. That will be done shortly. What I mean, we were, relooking and revising the target to make in before we publish it. But that will.
That will be coming out shortly.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you. Suchin Narayan also is asking, who is the soil scientist for Gaisuku? Soil is an important component in the cultivation of sugarcane, and keeping the soil healthy is of paramount importance because sugar is made in the fields.
Mhm. Yeah, we have multiple persons, and we have also agronomists, different agri engineers and so on. I mean, we have in various estates and also at the head office.
Okay. Marvin Williams says, if the price of the commodity is lower than the cost of producing the commodity, How can you get the revenues to meet your expenditure, Mr. Cheong?
Well, that's why we working to reduce our costs. I said, I mean, once we can improve the output in the field, and the efficiency in the factory, and getting the cane to the factory faster, and you improve on all our thing, we can make more out of what we do at probably the same or even lower cost, right? And definitely that would increase your revenue. And once your revenue increase, definitely, your deficit will increase, and you will eventually move to profitability.
Wow. Thank you very much. That concludes our questions for this evening. We will now ask Mr. Chong for his closing remarks.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I'm happy to have been on the program, and I hope that I'm able to shed some light on on where we hope to go, or where we planning to go. And it's not easy, but with effort, definitely we can get there. And as I always say, I'm happy to be part of the team at GUYSUCO, and I respect all the effort of the individuals working in the institution. But so together we'll work to accomplish this. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tara. To
Can
our
you
entire to our panel, thank you so much
can,
for your
can,
questions and your interaction this evening. To all of our viewers, thank you so much for your questions. Thank you for taking the time to be here with us this evening. I'm your host, Shamiza Ali, and this is the Guyana Dialogue. Good evening, everyone.
Good
good
evening.
evening.